Take a magic square, the 3 by 3 grid of Saturn, 9 numbers in perfect balance, every row and column and diagonal summing to 15. Now place a small mark on the number 1. Draw a line to 2, from 2 to 3. Continue through the entire sequence, connecting the numbers in order until you reach 9. The shape that emerges is the seal of Saturn. It is angular and sparse, severe in the way Saturn is severe. It looks like its planet, as if the force that makes lead heavy and time irreversible had inscribed itself into 2 dimensions. In a sense, it has. Here is what makes this remarkable. The seal is not designed, it is discovered. A symbol is chosen. Someone decided that a cross would represent Christianity, that a skull would represent danger, that a flag would represent a nation. These are conventions. They could have been otherwise. Another shape, another sign. The seal is not a convention. Once you have committed to tracing the numbers of Saturn's square in sequence, there is exactly one shape you can produce. You have no choices. The mathematics allows one path and no other. The seal does not represent Saturn. It is what Saturn looks like when it writes its own name. This is what the tradition means when it says the seals are the signatures of the invisible forces. A signature is not a label. A label says, this belongs to Saturn. A signature says, Saturn was here. Saturn did this. This is what Saturn looks like when it moves through space in sequence, one step after another, with perfect internal consistency. Every time you draw the seal of Saturn accurately, you are tracing the line that Saturn would trace. Look at the 7 seals together and you see their character immediately. Saturn's seal is angular, minimal. 3 moves through 9 positions. The constraint is visible in the form itself. The moon's seal is labyrinthine. 81 numbers in a 9 by 9 grid. The path doubling back, crossing itself, almost filling the space it occupies. It looks like lunar light, never direct, always reflected, covering the same territory again and again as the cycle turns. Mercury's seal is dense and multi-directional. Every line seems to imply another destination. This is Mercury, not a force that moves in straight lines, but one that moves through exchange, always in relation to something else, always between. Each seal looks like its planet because each seal is its planet, expressed at the level where quantity becomes shape and number becomes form. This is why the traditions were strict about accuracy. An error does not produce a different seal. It breaks the mathematical relationship entirely. Think of a key. A key has no symbolic connection to its lock. It does not represent the lock. It opens the lock because its shape was derived from the same structure that organized the lock's interior, because it was made from the same form. Change one tooth and it fails, not because the lock is offended, but because the geometry no longer corresponds. The seal is a key. When you trace it correctly, you produce a shape that stands in precise mathematical relationship to a planetary force. You are not performing a gesture that evokes Saturn. You are producing Saturn's geometric signature in your world. Through that signature, a relationship becomes possible. This is how a line becomes a doorway, not through intention, not through prayer, not through belief, through precision, through being the correct shape derived from the correct source. Now consider, there is a further step. The seals trace numbers in sequence, 1 through 9, 1 through 81. But the intelligences and spirits of each planet have names. And from names, you can derive numbers. And from numbers, you can locate positions in the grid. And from positions, you can trace lines. Number becomes geometry. Name becomes geometry. The same square that encodes the planet's force can also encode the signature of the intelligence that governs it and the spirit that executes it. The mathematical system reaches from abstract quantity all the way to the particular, from universal principle to the specific being that can be addressed, petitioned, directed. This is the architecture of the system. One structure, expressed at every level. The square as foundation, the seal as key, the sigil of the name as the address. What does this mean beyond talismans? Every act of creation is, in a sense, a signature, whether you intend it or not. A piece of writing, a design, a life, something we are trying to make stand in correspondence to something real, something we are trying to trace accurately from a source we may not fully understand. And still, something the world will read back to you, traced from a real source, or only borrowing the look of one. The question the tradition puts to you is simply this: is what you are making derived from something real? Is it the actual signature of something, or a collection of pleasant gestures that resemble signatures but weren't traced from anything? The seal works because it follows the mathematics already nested in the square. Pattern folded into pattern, nothing arbitrary, nothing improvised. So ask plainly, what patterns are you signing into habit, work, and love? And what will still be legible when your reasons have faded?